Plaintiff Janika Duncan says she met her now-deceased husband when she was a stripper, and he got her out of that lifestyle. Janika claims while they were together, his son, the defendant, never acknowledged her as his wife, and she believes it's due to her former profession, their 30-year age difference, and her race. She's suing her stepson today for her inheritance. Defendant Jeffrey Duncan says Janika is nothing more than a gold digger, and he doesn't even believe she was legally married because his father was married to another woman, and he has the marriage license to prove it. Jeffrey is countersuing Janika for stolen money.
All right, and ma'am, you're suing your stepson for $5,000 for stolen money?
Yes, Your Honor.
You're countersuing for $5,000 for stolen money.
Yes, sir.
Start with you.
All right, Your Honor. First of all, me and my husband met back in 2003. I was a stripper at a local strip club. By the end of the night, he convinced me I was too pretty, didn't need to be in there. He would take care of me. So what I do? I trusted in God, thought about it, prayed, and I left. We went on with our life. We dated for several years, had lots of fun together.
How many years?
Wow, we dated, we met in 2003. We dated all the way up to, we got married in October 22nd, 2011.
Okay.
Yes. He passed January 26, 2016. The family had never acknowledged me as a wife. I don't know why. For one, I'm thinking 30-year age difference. For two, I was a stripper. And for three, I'm thinking because I was African American. I never had a problem with anybody but this type of family. He has always let me know about his 4 estranged kids. They have always been in and out of his life. I have never seen any of his kids. On one occasion, I met Jeff, this young man right here. He came over to one of my rental properties and pretty much patched up a few holes.
Were you all in the same town?
Yes. Family had never acknowledged me as a wife. I don't know why. For one, I'm thinking 30-year age difference. For two, I was a stripper. And for three, I'm thinking because I was African American.
Plaintiff Janika Duncan says she was married to the defendant's father before he passed away. But the defendant claims his father was married to another woman, and he has proof of that marriage in court today.
Let me hear from you. You give me some background, sir.
Your Honor, she's nothing but a gold digger. All she was after was my father's money.
Wow.
Okay.
Really?
She didn't care about him. She wasn't there when he passed away.
Your Honor, that's not true.
He was, you know, he was sick on his deathbed, and she
And I was always
spending
there.
his money,
On,
driving his vehicle.
Let's back up, sir. Let's
Yes,
back up. You believe she was after his money, even though you don't know how much they were in love, because I got news for you. An older gentleman in his senior years with a young lady 30 years younger, he might really be in love.
It
He
was
was.
possible.
And she probably know a few tricks from that club.
I do,
Maybe
sir.
so.
I don't mean to insult you,
I
ma'am,
do,
but
sir, and
huh,
he
you
loved
do.
me.
You say
Yes,
you do.
I did, and
Yeah,
I took care of my husband.
you did. So you don't
I
know
don't know
what
for-
they could have been
That's
terribly in love.
That was none of my
Or he
business.
could have been. What's that called a gold digger? I'm
Well-
sure. Well, how much money did he make, your father? What type of salary was he bringing in? Was he rich?
He was disabled.
Actually, sir, he was receiving VA benefits, which I was part of that because I was his spouse, and I was also my son because that was his stepson.
How much of a gold digger is that to get your VA pension? For a young lady, probably I think most strippers make a couple or a few thousand a week. To go from that to $150 a week, that's some poor gold digging.
Tinfoil digging.
Yeah, tinfoil. That ain't even gold. That's tinfoil. That ain't even silver. So my point is, sir, doesn't sound like that was the motive unless there was a pot of gold that was stashed somewhere that you didn't know about. I'm talking about a lot of money.
Correct.
Now, a lot of times, young ladies are initially attracted to an older gentleman, perhaps thinking that he'll be a good sugar daddy, and he might give them a few dollars. She met him at the club, he might have been tipping big, and he might have said, you don't have to do that, I'll take care of you. That may have been her motive initially. And then your father might have had the skills himself
He might have.
to make her attracted to him for reasons other than money. Skills being love in his heart, the way he treated her, those type of skills. It doesn't always mean what you all think. Cooking skills, whatever. Did he ever cook?
Yes, he was a great cook.
All right, so
I loved his eggs.
that's my point, sir. So we can't conclude that that was her single motive. It may have been in the beginning, but I think sounds like after 13 years of staying with him, she loved him. And toward the end of his life, what you were caring for him?
Yes, bathing, changing diapers. None of the kids were there to do all that.
Yeah.
Feed him.
That's not true, Your Honor.
They
My
probably was there,
babysitter
but
was there.
3 days before he passed, they was there.
But where were you when that last 2 weeks he was alive? You weren't there.
No,
You left.
Your Honor.
You took his vehicle, took his wallet, took his debit card.
Your
Go
Honor,
ahead, sir.
I have always had power of attorney over my husband, so I had access to do all those things. The last few days, my husband was alive. His grandmother cursed me out and called me out my name, told me to leave. That's not your house, which that was her house. So what I supposed to do? I left. The only vehicle we had was my husband's truck. So I left, went to my mom's house.
That's not true.
A few days later, the hospital nurse called me and told me he took his last breath. Where do you want me to send his body? After that, this family has been malicious. They did not tell me where he's buried, when he was buried, or how he was buried. They're not looking at the fact that I'm a grieving wife. His sister called and told me, come get your things. They're under the carport. You're not allowed and you're not around here. My husband met back in 2003. I was a stripper at a local strip club. By the end of the night, he convinced me I was too pretty, didn't need to be in there. He would take care of me. So what I do? I trusted in God, thought about it, prayed, and I left.
Plaintiff Janika Duncan says she was married to the defendant's father before he passed away. But the defendant claims his father was married to another woman, and he has proof of that marriage in court today.
What are we suing him for today?
I'm suing him for, even though I have a will on my husband, I'm not suing for the whole thing. I'm only going to sue for 1/3.
What happened?
First of all, he went to the probate lawyer and closed our account out. That was $18,674.
Excuse me, Your Honor. That was not our account. My dad's name was the only one on that account.
Yeah, but I didn't
sir,
have time to do that, get my name on it.
Your, side. Well, some accounts are separate. My wife won't let me put my name on one of her accounts.
But
and I
Your
got
Honor,
news for her. She ain't on one of my accounts either. Well, I guess it's news now to her for sure.
No, Your Honor, my name was gonna get on that account, but I didn't have my correct
That's
ID.
not unusual for spouses to have separate accounts and joint accounts. Many have joint accounts together, and then they have separate accounts. Women to buy her clothes, men to go to the strip club.
Yeah.
And so that's. But
So basically, since I had all that power, I'm not greedy. I'm not trying to hurt them.
what happened with the money? He went and drew it all.
Yes, and I guess he split it with him and his 3 siblings. I don't know, because he didn't give me my portion.
And you wanted to show me something, a will? You have a will?
Yes, my
that he
power of attorney.
signed? Not just a power of attorney, a will you said you had.
Yes, everything was together
And
with
the will
this.
says what about the assets, ma'am?
It says something about giving his mom the RV, giving me the trike. I don't think it stated anything about money.
Go ahead, sir. Let me hear from you.
Well, Your Honor, I went to a legal probate court of Shelby County, Tennessee, and did an affiance bond for a small state affidavit, and I have that here.
I see it. Didn't you know they were married?
Your Honor, no, I didn't. I heard that they had gotten married October the 1st, and it didn't go through because they did it through a notary. Then they went back again October 22nd. This time they went to Mississippi instead of Tennessee and got married.
No, we got married
On October the 22nd of 2015, and he passed away 98
You
days
have a
later.
marriage certificate?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Your Honor, I also have a marriage license.
Well, let's see it. She has it. She has it already.
I don't know
Not
what
this
that
one,
is.
she doesn't.
What's your point?
My point
I
is
don't
my
know,
father was
but-
already married when he married her.
Who?
You
father
never
was married in-
divorced this woman?
No, sir, I also have proof of that, too, from 2 different courts in the state of Tennessee, and also a letter from his previous first wife.
Let me see that. Ma'am, did you know he was still married when you all got married?
I have the death
No, I
certificate
didn't.
also, Your Honor, that has his true wife's name on the death certificate. If you'd like to see that.
Just
all
because you
highlighted.
elected tell the funeral home what is what, that don't mean it's true. So she could have did that out of spite.
And I guess the question becomes, do you know of a divorce?
No, I don't. I don't know he was
Did you
married.
know he was married?
No, I didn't.
He never discussed the previous marriage?
No.
So you really didn't know a whole lot about him?
I knew enough.
No, you didn't know
obviously you
enough
didn't.
if you didn't know he had been married.
Could I see that, sir?
Sure can.
What's your counterclaim, sir?
Well, Your Honor, I am suing her for the money that she took out of my father's account
What?
after he passed away on January the 26th at 2:45. My father passed away, excuse me, and she was withdrawing money out of his account the day he died. She took out $1,000 out of his checking account on 1/26th. 3 days later, after he was passed away, she took out $6,000 more on 1/29. Also on 1/26, she was at Chili's in South Memphis, Tennessee, eating lunch on the day he passed away.
Okay, I'm supposed to eat.
So why was-
But, Your Honor,
So why
I
what?
I don't understand why she wasn't there with him.
That's crazy.
You know, he's laying on his deathbed. She's out eating lunch and spending his money. She wasn't too concerned about him.
That's not true, Your Honor. I was merely handling business.
Plaintiff Janika Duncan says she was married to the defendant's father before he passed away. But the defendant claims his father was married to another woman, and he has proof of that marriage in court today.
This is a small claims court, not probate. Probate court is a court of a different jurisdiction because most of this is very technical. The law is very specific in most states. It'll say a certain percentage goes here to this person. If there was a will, it goes this way or that way, and most people need legal advice. And so I could have enforced a judgment. We can always enforce a judgment of $5,000 or less, but I can't determine the merits of the case.
Yes.
The probate judge in your local jurisdiction has to review and make a determination as to who is entitled to the assets of the deceased. You wanted to say one last thing, ma'am?
Yes, I would like to know where my husband is buried so I can have an official burial for myself.
You want to tell us, sir?
He's buried at the Veterans National Cemetery in Memphis.
All right. Both your claims are dismissed today. Good luck in probate court. And I'd be interested in seeing who was married to who and when
I
and how.
would too, because whoever this person was not there the 13 years I was
This
there.
reminds me of that Frankie Lyman movie.
Yes, who was the last wife?
there the
Who was the last wife? Good luck to you both.
Thank you, Judge.
And dismissed.
I want to say to you, Janika.
It's okay, but I'm glad to see you. I hate things happen that way, and I miss my husband. Thanks
I miss
for
my
coming.
daddy.
Yep.